I came here after I graduated from college in Taiwan, and so it was 1971. That's a long, long time ago.
It's a long time ago.
So I've been here more than half of my life spent in the United States. So I came here as seeking for further higher degrees. So I got my master's degrees in the United States. I was majoring in dancing, performing art.
Classical dance?
Oh, well, everything. You know, you do folk dance in Taiwan, and you also have to require to take a ballet, modern dance, and you know, art, folk dance, whatever that you need to require to fulfill to graduate. Like I wasn't dancing all my life. I picked it up when I went to dance school. It's like a 5 years program. I got in when I was 16. I felt I never really liked it, but by the time I graduated, I really loved. And I don't mind of continue, but I was told all my life, say, what are you going to do when you graduate from getting master's degree in dancing? You're not going to go professional. You're not type of a person to be professional. You know, a lot of people, adults, last generation will tell you, find a job that was easier to, you know, make a living. Actually, I was born in Shanghai. It's just right at the cut off the time, you know, China was split in two parties. So my father happened to be served the old regime, so he has to leave. If he stayed in China, he would be, you know, my father works for, you know, works for the old government. So he has to leave. So we pretty much like escaped just before China, you know, claimed communist country. Taiwan at the time was very, you have to say economic, everything was very poor, kind of say like third country. So my father trying to find the job, everything he found out was very, very difficult. Because Taiwan is like pretty much like another country. When you are outsider from China, they don't really work on you. They want to say everything you want to find job, they will say limited to the people that who's only Taiwanese. Like the people that you come from mainland China, we don't want you. So that type of the sentiment, my father felt that wasn't the place that he wants us to grow up. We found out, our generation, that we have to go abroad to study because the job is very limited in Taiwan, and so is my father's generations also is making living at the same time. So you graduate, you're finding job with your parents. So majority of the people at the time all went to United States. United States happened to be that time welcome scholar, welcome students, but you have to graduate from college. Well, fortunately, my sister, my older sister, she's 3 years ahead of me. She gave us how she lived, how she gets her degrees, how she, you know, made herself alive in the United States. So pretty much that's the trend I want to do. So that was really big help. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't just pick up bag by myself and try to pursue being a dance major. That was pretty scary because nobody ahead of me was doing something like. I'm pretty much the first one from Taiwan went out to get a dance master's degree. My sister said, you know, it took you such a long process to get here, getting degree. I wish you had the permanent, you know, residence status before you go back to Taiwan. If you want to go back to Taiwan, whatever that's fine. You know, you have a choice. But if now you go back to Taiwan, you have a master's degree. So what? You know, you pretty had highest level what you want to do. You pretty much you only want you go back, you can never come back. So I stayed about an extra year and tried to guide myself, and I met my husband. I made a choice for me to do a lot more later on in life. If I go straight in dancing, my life would be very, very narrowed. Either I go very professional if I made it, because professional is very hard. And I don't know, I think I want a marriage life. And again, if you go professional, a lot of professional dancers never got married. When I was in graduate school studying, my professor and my ballet professor told me, I'd like you to be in my spring concert. I said, sure, I'll be in that. I stayed there 2 years. Every year he told me, the spring concert, I want you to be there. I said, I will be there. But the spring concert come and gone and left, and I said, nobody told me. And he was always wondering why I never showed up. For whatever it was called audition.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is not in my brain. The audition means you come to try it out. If you professor like it, he give everybody fair chance to do audition. This is not a term that time I noticed. I didn't even know this term audition until 10 years later. I didn't know the tryouts called audition, and nobody tells me. Or maybe somebody told me, it wasn't in my vocabularies. That was my biggest culture shock. I didn't know even like more than 10 years. I realized audition means, try out. And I said, my professor probably found out, what a strange girl. Every time I asked her, she said, yes, I'll be there, but then never showed up.